Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is Sunderland, it is Bright Lights. It is episode 42 of Bright Lights. If I do look a little bit hot and bothered, that's because it's currently 40 degrees here in Australia. It's 3:40 in the afternoon, it's 40 degrees. Been sitting and watching the cricket, but whilst watching the cricket, I've been simming through the World Cup period that we got off stream for. We'll talk about the friendlies in a second. And I have gotten to the day before the Bournemouth game, which is the FA Cup third round, which I'm going to do live here as a YouTube episode, primarily, and then we'll be live on stream for January. I'm not going to be live on stream as soon as I finish recording this. I'm going to get to the FA Cup fourth round draw if we do beat Bournemouth today, and then after that I'm just going to let the computer sit there for a bit, watch the end of the cricket, let the room cool down a little bit. Got the fan in here, but it does get very hot in my computer room. I've got some water in the fridge that is getting quite chilled, so that we can go on a long, nice stream for tonight, because I've decided to cancel training with my under 18 squad. We're going to do some running and do a game against the reserves. The reserves are kind of then like, I don't want to really train in 40-degree weather. I'm a hard nut, so was my other coach and my elder coach that I do coach with. He then also wanted to train. And then the club kind of just told us, look, boys, not even the first team's training. Can you please just, as a club, can we just say training is off tonight? We agreed in the end, and a night off on a Thursday means that we're going to stream. I'll leave my foot champs packs and all that stuff for when we get off the stream, but we'll be on stream from about 5 o'clock onwards tonight, and hopefully have a very good stream indeed. The reason we are on this screen, though, is there is some players that we have to talk about that I've been scouting. As we know, for people on the stream, we did add Portugal in as a playable league. I actually thought I did that at the start. We didn't. When you add people in like Flavio, right, that just get regenerated at clubs without history. Now, he was obviously here last year, on Regen Day in Portugal, because we're adding the league in. And this is a goalkeeper, for instance, that's got a very good scout report. There's a few here. The reason why Corana is so heavily featured is because obviously Silva's there, one of our wonder kids that is currently on loan, one of the strikers, having a very good time of it. But there is a lot of lads that we have scouted and that we need to talk about, because we can start picking up these guys on free transfers. They're regens, so we have to pick them up before someone else does. Diogo Figueira is the first one. He's got a 96 scouting rating. He's apparently on a very good level for a Premier League side. He's better than what Smithies is. Smithies is currently rated at a very good Sky Bet League sort of level, but Smithies plays so well. He plays above that level, you can tell. The vice captain that does quite a fair bit. But if you compare Smithies with if it compares Smithies with Diogo, for instance, Smithies is a better shot stopper, he is, and also has better distribution, but then everywhere else, it just seems a little bit more well-rounded, is Diogo. If you go to goalkeepers on sweeper keeper on defend, for instance, you can see the aerial reach is quite the same. Commanded area is a bit better, and the communications largely better on Diogo. His first touch isn't as great, but his handling's pretty good, but his kicking and his one-on-ones, and the one-on-ones are huge, because Smithies makes some big one-on-one saves. Do let him down. The passing slightly better, his reflexes are good. His rushing out and his tendency to punch is a little bit lower. The tendency to punch I don't mind. The rushing out and the one-on-ones does hurt. His throwing's not as good either, so he's not as good as a goalkeeper. Mentally, he's definitely better, apart from his determination, which I think is huge, but his decision-making, his composure, his decision-making is better, his concentration is better, his composure is the same. He's got very good bravery for a goalkeeper. As you can see, Smithies is quite slightly taller, but he's physically pretty good, Diogo. Definitely a player that I'm definitely thinking about that could be, definitely picked up. I think Flavio's a slightly better keeper at 28. There's a lot of people that want Flavio. If you can play Flavio and Diogo together, Flavio's apparently got better shot stopping, better distribution, which I do rate, and I think that's quite highly. If you look at their stats, these two guys, right, is if you look at sweeper, keeper, and defend, better aerial reach and command of areas. First touch is slightly better, but his handling's pretty good. But once again, the kicking isn't great. The 14 one-on-ones, but his throwing's not bad. But the reflex is pretty good. I don't know how you would split these two, to be honest. And if you look at Smithies isn't that bad. I've been looking for a first-choice goalkeeper, sort of, but I'm not really looking to get rid of Smithies. Now, I do say this, but then Ferreira tells me that he's a leading player. I personally think that between Flavio and Diogo, I don't think there's much. If you go to their report, I don't think there's much in them at all. One's a leading player, one's a good Premier League player. I personally think Diogo's slightly better. Plus, he's wanted by Spurs, Inter, and Valencia. But if you look at Flavio, he's wanted by Spurs, Inter, and Valencia. They're the same, aren't they? They're the exact same. Okay. Interesting. I love the Mo. They're both the same regen. They're the same guy duplicated twice. One's Flavio, one's Diogo. Take your pick. I'm definitely tempted to see what they go. The consistency is what I'm very happy with. And he also loves a big game, does Diogo. I'm feeling like Diogo's the guy. He's just a very well-rounded goalkeeper. I want to see what his contract would be. He wants to be a key player, and we want us to get in there. I'm happy with that, right? And if we can pick him up on frees, I'm pretty happy with that as well. The next one is Kelbert, and Kelbert just looks like an absolute worldie of a centre-back, right? He would be by far our best centre-back. He's not a passing centre-back. He's not a ball-playing centre-back. He can pass the ball quite well. But as a centre-back on cover with 16 pace, 16 strength, good jumping reach, 191 centimetres, this guy looks the goods at 26 and has a very good history in the future. He's obviously playing very good for Moreiras, who are performing well and above in the league at the moment as well. I'm very interested to see if he would actually come to us. He wants to be a key player as well. But as you can see, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Tottenham, Spurs, everybody wants this guy, so I want to go in for him too. Orme Traoré is a player that I can't help but admire. He's an inside forward with great finishing, great dribbling, great pace. I just think this kid is just sensational. If we approach to sign him, he's not currently interested because he wants to move to a bigger club than us, which is a bit of a shame, but it's okay. There's a few other names here on the list. There's a couple of regens there. There's, Pedro, who I think is an awesome right back that can do a very good job for us. He doesn't want to come to us, though. He wants to go to a bigger club. But there's a lot of those regens out there that we're currently scouting, and I think that they're definitely worth picking up. There's another regen here. The Ghanaians, a very good ball-playing defender, I feel, and could be very good depth for us. He's wanted by a few clubs in and around, like Villarreal and Malaga, which is kind of our level. Walter Jr., Gennaro, I reckon, is quite the player. I look at his ability, right, as an advanced playmaker on attack. He's got good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch, great free kick taking, very good passing, very good vision, very good workout, great leadership, determined. I honestly think that this guy with good long shots, tries first time shots, I think this guy in an accounted system could be interesting. I'm tempted to see what sort of contract he would like. If I can get him on a rotation contract, I feel like that there is definitely a player here for us to definitely pick up. Especially with Alexander not getting his thing. I'm actually tempted with... where is he? I'm tempted with Walter actually to try and sign him, right? Because the reason why I try and sign him is we're moving him from a top 6 league where he's currently playing in, and then if we put him on a little bit of a wage, he might actually get a work permit this year. So I'm definitely tempted to do with that. Let's go with Walter. We're actually going to make a transfer offer in for Walter, I reckon, as well. He's got a transfer list there, 1.3. They're happy with that. I'm happy with that. I feel like that's a very good offer for Walter. And a player that I'm happy to bring in right now if he got a work permit. There's a lot of other players on this list, but no one really that I really want to talk about too much in depth. But there we go. That's what I'm thinking, right? And if these players want to, we're going to sim forward to the Bournemouth game. Walter wants a first-team contract. I'm happy to put him on a rotation contract, to be honest, for 5 years, though. I don't mind paying the wage. I'm honestly going to give him about 40, maybe 44, just so he can get the signing done, rotated. That's fine. I reckon he'll get a work permit with that. He'll get all 4. As you can see, Nascimento wants to be a key player, the centre-back. I don't see nothing wrong with that. A minimum release fee, though, I'm thinking of about 120 mil for you because you're really good. He's a leading player, someone that we can build around, especially if Daniel doesn't get a work permit again. I'm going to try in a little bit in the future. He wants a sell-on fee. I want to remove that, and I want to remove the yearly wage and see what he says to that. He's happy with that. It's a very good contract for Kelbert as well. And then there's no guarantee we get these players. I'm expecting Real Madrid in the code, as soon as it hits the 1st of January to go, yeah, there's the big offers for these guys, yada, yada. You miss out. But I'm definitely interested to see what we can do. People talking about there. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in what's going on with the World Cup. But what I'm going to do with the World Cup is that we are going to talk about Diogo there. Once again, he wants a minimum release fee of 46 mil for clubs in the Champions League. I'm going to eke that out there to about 80 for the goalkeeper. But once again, another 5-year deal for a 29-year-old that's in his prime. I actually don't mind that too much for 5 years. He's happy with that one too. So maybe we could have a few new guard. And we do have a lot of money. We have 29 mil to spend that we could actually get these players in now, considering we are pushing for Europe. At the same time, we could maybe get Smithy's quite upset. We could, we got Hoyt hasn't had the best of time. Like if we go to Hoyt, he hasn't had the best of time in on the league at the moment. He's had a 6.95 and he's kind of grown into that, but he's never 6.7, 6.4s of late. Couple of 7.1s in the big wins that we had, but then in games where he just needed to perform, there's a lot of 6.5s in there too. So not a player that I'm actually very happy with. I do think he's sensational, don't get me wrong. John Sorotta's decent for the level as well. Don't get me wrong as well. I feel like he's a very good player, decent player for us. But, if we could bring in a player like Nascimento, who we might even just call him the brother of Flavio, the older brother of Flavio. Definitely a player I wouldn't mind doing that. What we are going to do, though, we are going to save the game. Here's a little bit of talking, a little bit behind-the-scene talk with me for the first 10 minutes. And then after that, we'll go through the press conference, get to the game, and we'll be right back with the starting 11 against Bournemouth in the third round of the FA Cup. I thought I'd come back before the game. This frustrates me. Daniel's been playing, obviously, at Juve. He's had 10 appearances. We applied for a work permit a couple months ago while I was playing at Juve. Didn't get it. Promising Footballer of the Year award. And I can't get a work permit for this kid. He is growing into quite the player, by the way. I would play Flashamito in him. I'll play him as a bit more of a defender or as a stopper, for instance, right? Because I feel like he's a very good stopper. You know, I'll play him as a stopper and then play Flashamito as a covering in a cautious backline. It would work quite well. You know, both don't have the best passing ability. But we can change by playing, to our fullbacks, for instance. If we could get Daniel work permit and Fashimito in, that would be my starting two centre-backs. And then all of a sudden you have Sorata and Garcia as your backups, and you can loan everybody else out. I do have another centre-back coming in, the South Korean, on the 1st as well, which we'll go through, when we get to the draw. If we get to the draw, if we get knocked out, you'll see it on stream. Links in the description below, as always, for the stream. Come and give us a follow. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get Daniel there as well. A work permit soon. I think we can apply for it in 13 days. If he gets a work permit, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to recall him from loan in the January transfer window and get him in and get him playing for us, because anyone that's good enough to play for Juve 12 times throughout the year, including in the Champions League, he's played 4 games in the Champions League, not playing well. Juve aren't having the best of time, by the way. Juve are down in 18th, right? They are not playing well at all. But it does happen to some of the bigger clubs later on down the year. We will get into that Bournemouth game right now, and we'll be right back with the Bournemouth game in just a second. Welcome back, YouTube. It is time for the game against Bournemouth. We are going to talk about the squad a little bit before we get into it. Holder is going to the left. Hopefully get a little bit of better performance from Holder. He's very well suited to his left foot, so we're going to get him on the left and then get Serrato on the right. That's one of the changes. Will Burgess actually was in and around the English squad for the World Cup. Didn't get to play a game in the World Cup, but, the wonder kid is growing. He's wanted by Man United when I last checked. A few other clubs are coming in for him too. I will not be selling him for any price. The Silver's on a new contract, but the big one we need to talk about is Miguel. Miguel has actually grown into a 4-star Premier League player, which means that he is by far now our best centre defensive midfielder, which to me is sensational. I really do like it. He does got a lot of potential, the wonder kid. Really, he's not bad. Godin's first game back from injury as well, which is good for us. Mike is still the wonder kid, still wants to grow. Unfortunately, his potential's come down again. It keeps showing from 5 stars to 4 stars, 4 stars with a 5th black star, or 3 stars with a 4th black star. I just think this guy's just going to grow and grow and grow. And look, he's my favourite player on the save. I would really like him to get some leadership. Alex is going to be in there. Hala, Marquez, and Thuram up there. In terms of signings, I do think we're about a centre-back short, maybe for Sorata. Hoyde is probably, according to Star Ratings, not bad, but I prefer Sorata. I'll just, like I said, I want Daniel and Nashimita to be the 2 centre-backs next year. Smithies has had a very good year yet again, right? And Smithies has never had a bad year for us. And Smithies is a player that I can't help but admire. I just think he's sensational. Unfortunately, though, he is getting to the stage where it's probably playing out of his depth a little bit, but he's never had a bad year. 6.9s for goalkeepers are pretty good. Apparently, he's wanted. Sponsored by Spurs. Look, if Spurs gave me an extortionate amount of money, by all means. But Haller there as well. Haller's been growing the wonder kid too. Obviously, he had a decent World Cup, I think, for the Czechs. He's looking pretty good, still growing, still got a lot of years left on his contract before we have to start thinking about a new one. Marquez didn't get to go. He didn't get picked for Argentina, which I was surprised because his form was decent, but he does look pretty good, the wonder kid, and to run up top, like I've said. In terms of that, the bench looks not too bad as well. Van Dijk, Alex has grown again. This is a player that I do like. I know we just put in a bid for centre attacking mid, but this guy would be my first choice centre attacking mid no matter what. I just really like the other centre attacking because 19 determination and 19 leadership. So, crazy, right? And I feel like that he's a better player than Alex is right now. We can play Alex at the bench and then sell Lozano, who's a sellable asset now. Anyway, we are going to get into the game here. We're obviously going with our normal asymmetric system that everyone seems to rate so far. Begovic, Ake, Zappacosta there, Thuram, Mount, Zaha, Diomite, and Forgan Hazard. Look, this is a game that I hope that we do win there. Just go out there and impress me. It's a very difficult third round game for us, right? Everyone coming back from the World Cup, like Sorata just come back from the World Cup. Miguel didn't go away, which is good. Haller went away. Alex went away. But that's really it. Apart from that, no one else went away for the World Cup, which is good for us. So everyone's quite fit. He's Fitzgerald, rather productive, gone and has now returned. I'm glad that he did rejoin a productive spell as ISP. He's actually worth 2.7 mil. He might be a player we might look to move on. We did bring him in only for 130k, so maybe sell him on for 2.1 mil might be a player we can. We don't know at this stage, but part of the process, everyone sit down and discuss what's best for the player. There's been a fair bit of speculation. We wouldn't know anything stage. I think it's quite clear at this point there's some distance. He's likely that something to do is he's to leave. I'm not going to say too much in the press conference. That was caught the eye. That is a fine for doing very exactly the reason why we loaned him out. Mainly why we loaned him out is because he can't play here, but he would if he could. Anyway, it's going to be Sunderland in the blue and Bournemouth in the red. I really want an FA Cup run. I want a semi-final. I want a final. I want to get the Wembley. I want to put the suit on. In most of my other saves, a couple years in, the suit's on. We're pretty happy. Except for HK, but HK was a long-term project. Not saying Sunderland isn't, but I expected by now that we would have had a cup run somewhere. But we haven't yet. I do rate myself as a good cup manager. We generally do. And look, we've performed quite well in the cup, which is always getting a big side as Godin puts it over the bar. Might be Godin's form improves, that we've now changed system. We can play him as a Mazzala, so it gets him a little bit more forward into roles that he does like to play in. I know Godin can be quite the good player, and as it's saying though, Bournemouth has started quite well, and it's Hazard with the ball in. I tell you what, Smeevies has come for it. It hasn't got there. Men fame with the goal. We're 1-0 down, just like that. Little bit interesting that we have conceded here early doors here to Hazard corner to Memphane. We've actually been quite good at defensively, but Smithies is never getting to that. Decided to come, and there you go. I feel like this team is well suited to a cup competition. So if we can go out there and just get back to how we were playing before the season started, that would be great. The system worked quite well. At the moment, though, we are picking up quite a few bookings. We can't get into the game at all, and it's not been the best of half from us. We've struggled to keep the ball here against Bournemouth. We are 1-0 down. I am going to make a very aggressive team talk here and tell them that I want to see something else. In terms of who's not having a good game, no one really. So hoping that someone can step it up here in the second half. Because I don't want to go out in the FA Cup right now. Would I take a draw? I'll draw, and a replay at Bournemouth would be interesting. It would be interesting for the stream, and it would be interesting, of course, for the YouTube content as well. But that does require us to get a goal. We haven't looked like it yet. As the ball goes along the Zaha, the Silver heads away, but it's crossed back in. Godin heads away. And this is where we've been so good. On the break, Haller now with the ball over to Marquez. Marquez in space. Still Marquez. Great first touch. Goes away from goal, but Thuram's there with him. The ball towards Thuram. Thuram block. Falls to Haller. Haller should score. Haller does score. And just like that, it's a counter-attack like that. Haller with the goal. We've hit him on the break there. Haller gets his first goal of the season. Not really known for his goal-scoring, Haller. Would love a few more goals from him, but he does get quite a few assists. Does always pop up and be quite a key player when he is on form, and obviously one of our best players at the club, as Haller does, just puts that one in, and there we go, we're 1-1, just like that. Miguel picking up a knock, which is not what I want. It looks like it could be a bruised fire. It's not the worst there. The throw in there, De Silva heads away, finds Marquez now. Marquez back to Alex. Alex on a booking, another player on a booking that we might look to get off. Anyway, Marquez, the ball over to Haller. Haller's got Thuram at the back post if he can find him. Haller gets to the ball, he does look for Thuram. Let us find Thuram, but over the bar from Thuram. I'm actually going to make the first change of the day. And I think it's going to be a double change here. Alex is not the best of the game. We are going to bring Luizano in. And we are going to take Haller off. No, we're not going to take Haller off. We're going to take Miguel off, sorry. And for Sergi Sampri. Just because of the knock. And I don't want it to be too serious here. And hopefully we'll be okay when we get back into this game. Daniel Wood and Fofana, I forgot to show you the friendlies. We won every friendly but the last one against NAC Breda, where we actually played our first team. We were just quite poor on the day. But hopefully we were okay here. Anyway, Wood and Fofana actually played quite well. I don't think Wood scored, but assisted a lot as a poacher, which I don't mind. Anyway, long ball there towards Wilson. Burgess picks it up, the wonder kid. Back to Smithies. Smithies goes long yet again. Not long enough to find Thuram, though, and it will be Mount coming forward again. Can we win the ball back? We do have got him. Great challenge from the Mazzala. And Sergi Sampri now on the ball. Very smart, very intelligent player. Lots of composure. Could be a sellable asset, but at the same time, I don't really want to sell unless it's for big money. Anyway, in the end, we're forced long, but Smithies, what a ball to Marquez. He left everyone in his depth, but what a save from Begovic. Marquez missing a sitter. He does have that in his locker. He just misses some of the stuff. You just go, you should score that, and then he scored an absolute worldie. So, has been playing quite well though. Haller though with a chance to put the ball into the back of the net, and he does. Marquez doesn't get up though. You would have put your money on Marquez to score. Marquez not having the best of games. I'm actually thinking Daniel Wood, not for Fana. I'm thinking Daniel Wood for the first change and for Fana for Thuram and make it a double change up top. That's why I'm looking for Joe Silva to come back in. I'm actually going to keep him on for the rest of the year and then try and get him in. Anyway, 70 minutes in, I am going to make that change, and we are going to bring Daniel Wood on as a poacher. He's been playing quite well and he's been growing sensationally, so he does deserve a little bit more, there's Daniel Wood, in terms of, game time. I'm really trying to grow him because he's English talent. He was regen at the club. He's the first regen of note with Potter that we could maybe actually get about of. Thuram's also not had the best of days. Lozano hasn't. Godin hasn't had the best of days either, coming back from injury. I am thinking though it is going to be Duncan, I reckon. We can't make any more sayings. We actually made 3. I forgot we took Miguel off injured. But there we go. That's okay. We should be okay here. We've been playing quite well. If we can... Potter's now injured. Great. How long for? It's a groin injury. That could be a few weeks. Anyway, we're going to stay as we are. I'm going to try and press on here on the front foot and really try to get it. Sergi Sampri can provide us cover as a deep line defender. Anyway, the ball's headed long. Zappacosta now with the ball over the top to Wilson. And this is the problem without a centre back on the field. Callum Wilson with the ball in there. The header. Great. What a header by Philippe. Can we find a goal in the late doors? Zappacosta, Callum Wilson. How has he A, won the ball in the air here, going back with the flight? B, how's that beaten Smithies? It's just a loopy one. There is enough time though to score. Got him. Sergi Sampri all the way back to Smithies. Can we go and get the ball up there? Can we get maybe Wood in and get Wood to get a strike on goal with that 17 finishing? We do go long with Smithies towards the Silva, but that's not going to find anyone. Wood does win the second ball though, and can he find a pass? Does find Luazano. Luazano's ball out to Haller. It's just poor, but it will fall to Thuram. Luckily though, Thuram's ball out there to Burgess, who's pushing forward now. Burgess getting forward. Can he whip in a ball of quality? He can. It's in there. Thuram! And 2-2 from kickoff just like that. We're back in it. And there we go. Marcus Thuram at the back post. We're more middle of the post. And we do get a goal back. I'm going to learn from my mistake here. I'm actually going to get Godin the drop into here. We're going to do that. We're going to move Godin as Sergi Sampras a ball playing midfield, and we're actually going to move Godin into there as a Mazzala still. We're going to go to that there, and there we go. Time's ticking away here. We could make a change here. And tell you what, though, Wood's on the break. Daniel Wood, make yourself a hero. Wood with the chip. Oh, it's over the bar. Could have won it late doors. Daniel Wood. There we go. Is there a moment there? Zaha's off injured. It looks like the time's ticking away here. It looks like it's going to be the end of the game here. Is it going to be the end of the game, though? There we are. Excellent sliding tackle. It should be the end of the game. Is there going to be a highlight there? End of 90 minutes. Are you telling me there's an extra time here? Extra time in the FA Cup. Interesting. This is the FA Cup. Extra time in the FA Cup. Is there a rule that I don't know about like in 2022 that there's now extra time in the FA Cup? I don't feel there was. Anyway, Wilson now with the ball. That makes me a little bit nervous that we're only down to 10 men there. Anyway, the ball straight at Smithies. All right, we'll play it, and then we'll see what happens here. Burgess now with the ball. It's taken. Got in out of Thuram. Daniel Wood wants back post. Can he find Daniel Wood? It's a crunching challenge instead by Forgan, but Haller gets there. We'll find Burgess. Burgess now with the ball. Come on, Burgess. Can you whip one in there of quality? You've already done one. He puts another ball in of quality. Thuram's there again as the keeper come forward and not got there. We're 3-2 up now in the FA Cup third round. Why has there been extra time? Why is this not a replay? Help. Somebody send help, because I'm confused, but who cares? We are 3-2 up in the FA Cup third round. Extra time? Really? To run, though, with another great header. This is why I'm playing as an advanced one, because he's so good in the air. He's good off the last man. We're so good off the break. Anyhow, time ticking away here. I'm going to stay on the same system. I'm not going to go defensive. I'm going to stay on the counter, and the more Bournemouth come to us, the more we hit them on the break. There we are. We're going to start the second half. I'm just going to tell the lads there, have a shout to just concentrate. Just play the same way you've been playing for the next 15 minutes and you'll be fine. Haller with the ball, getting down the byline, whips it in. Does Thuram want to get there? He doesn't. Might fool the Mr. Daniel Wood. Wood down with the ball. His ball back to De Silva. De Silva now with the ball. Still with De Silva. That is fine. We're just told the lads to concentrate. They looked a little bit overwhelmed. It is fine, lads. Don't worry. 112th minute. Barring a late goal here from Bournemouth, we should be okay. I'm leaving it on the same thing. It could leave us slightly open, but I don't care. There's 120 minutes. Okay, they've got 10 seconds to score. I think we're through to the fourth round in an absolute pulsating game. This one has been in the FA Cup third round. I just don't know why there was extra time. We have won in the FA Cup third round. There we go. I don't know why there's not been a replay. You've done brilliantly to come back. I'm delighted. De Silva's had a shocker. That's fine, right? You know, Thuram has picked it up late doors there. We've scored late. I thought it was a replay. It wasn't. And Thuram scoring in the same fashion again. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to click on the FA Cup and be like, what was the rules? Anyway, we win in the third round of the FA Cup. Can we go to rules? No play. Extra time of players have scored at 11 of the final minutes. What about in the fourth round? Extra time. Has there been a rule change? There's been a rule change in the FA Cup. Maybe is this happened in your save too? There's a rule change. I know there isn't a thing, but there's been a rule change now. The FA Cup doesn't have a replay anymore. There must be a rule change in real life in 2022. I'm actually going to search this up here because I'm very confused. FA Cup extra time, no replay. So, according to Wikipedia, in rounds including the fifth round popper, fixtures resulting in a draw at normal time will go to a replay played in the venue. If the replay still tied, it goes to extra time and penalties. Yeah, but do the FA Cup quarter go to penalties? Is there replays? 2022? Help? There we are. All right. So in 2022, apparently there's been discussions that in 2022, that there's no replays in the FK, just extra time. I'm actually going to click on this here and see what that says. But that's interesting. We're going to read that one off stream. Anyway, what a crazy off stream, off video. What a crazy game. So Serrata's out for 4 to 5 weeks, which could be a big blow to us. But we do have a centre back coming in. Durante's out for 4 to 5 days, not our striker. We'll do the press conference off stream there. Enthusiastic Smithies credits how managers talk. It was good to come back into that game. Anyway, we'll be back with a fourth round draw. So it looks like that in 2022, 2023, the game or the database anticipates that in real life the FA Cup will be moved to just replays, no replays and just extra time, and I've now got extra time in the FA Cup. I didn't know. Did you know? It's going to be titled Extra Time now, this video. But we are through to the fourth round proper. What a game. And we'll be back with the fourth round FA Cup draw in just a second. Welcome back, guys. Not up to the FA Cup yet, just couple signings. I think for everybody that watched the stream, they know that these two are coming in. Kim Kan-jin is a centre back that we did pick up for a couple mil. The South Korean international did go and play the World Cup. South Korea actually had a very good World Cup. We actually look at the World Cup itself, right? Italy did win the World Cup 4-2 against Scotland in the final. That is correct. A Scotland side made the final. A side that is of, not overly, massive big players, but, there's a couple there. Torini and Robertson really did lead the way. McKenna there as well. There's a lot of lads that play there. Serrata had a very good World Cup. You got to feel for Scotland, but if you look at the, if you look at all the groups all together, Scotland came out in second and then made the World Cup final. Brazil and Mexico got through. Australia finished dead last, which is not good for me, obviously. But Germany, Argentina only finishing second. Germany, Mali getting through. There was Belgium and Egypt, Denmark missing out. Japan missed out. But South Korea knocked off France. South Korea did beat France in one of the games. And I'm interested to see how far South Korea went because I kept getting reports that Mr. Kim Jan was playing quite well. In the second round, though, as you can see, Ghana beat Mexico. Scotland beat Brazil on penalties in a crazy game. Egypt beat Mali. Germany won 2-0. Nigeria won 1-0. Italy won 3-2 against Ivory Coast. England and Paraguay did draw. South Korea were quite unlucky against England. Obviously, in the quarterfinal, we wanted to see what happened here. Germany lost 3-2 to Ghana. Scotland thrashed Mali. Nigeria beat Paraguay. And England lost to Italy 2-1. In the semi-final, as you can see, Ghana lost Italy 4-2 and Scotland beat Nigeria. And there's in the third place playoff, Ghana did win the third place. The Ghana side itself doesn't have anyone of note, but there's a lot of players in and around that are not bad in that Ghana side. And then with Italy obviously winning in the final. In terms of players here that got man in the match, there's a lot of things in and around, but no one crazy. It wasn't a World Cup full of clean sheets either. But there you go, just a little recap. Anyway, Kim Jan had a very good World Cup. And we obviously got him in for $2 million, which was his release fee. There's a few clubs sniffing around for him, but there we are. He just looks very good. He's got decent determination, but very good physicals, very good concentration. He's a bit of a bigger lad as well. Very good marking, very decent tackling, decent heading. I expect this kid to grow into quite a player for us in the future. He's been playing quite well in the Korean First League. If you go there to this page here, it just says that he's going to produce a lot of TV, a lot of T-shirt revenue. Unfortunately, we won't get to see him in a shirt until February because with the way it works, the Asian Cup falls in the same as the World Cup. So for everybody that is Australian or, from Asia, South Korean, etc. at the club, they are now off to the Asian Cup straight after the World Cup. So you don't get to see him until from November through to after February, which is a bit of a shame for us. The next one's Michael Dosek. Now, when he signed this guy, it was like 2.5-star, 3-star according to our scouts. The wonder kid has grown. He played 8 times for the Czechs so far, and he just looks so good. He's apparently our best defensive midfielder according to according to the stats, according to Morales, I think is the best player to do this with. I know our coach has the same one, but if we compare him to Miguel, if we can, they're both very good. They're both wonder kids, right? Miguel is actually currently injured, so Dosek will play that first game on stream that you guys will watch. But if you go to the overview here, they both got very good defending. Mentally, Dosek's such a good player. In the air, he's very good. Technically, not the best. Attacking's the same. His vision does lack. His speed does lack. His physically does lack. But just how good he is mentally for 18 is beyond me. And he's got 2 years to catch up to the same mental and same technicals and the same physicals that Durante and Miguel is. I think these two playing in and out as tandem, who is in best form, will play. I'm going to try and get Michael Dosek as good as he can right now, straight into it. And there we are. But yeah, we've just got that going in. Obviously, you saw us make a bid. There's been a few offers, obviously, as well for the likes of... Ashley Mito's now got an offer from AS Monaco as well. Walter Jr. has now got a work permit being decided. I hope this guy comes because I think as a backup, he's sensational. I'm actually thinking as advanced player, attacking midfielder on attack, he will start. I know that sounds crazy, but I honestly think he's a decent Premier League player with great potential. I honestly think that Gabriel Wayne is missing a trick here. I honestly think that he's world class. If you compare him to Alexander, I just think he's world class. I think he's just very good. He's in the green here. He's better going forward. He's better in his vision. Yeah, speed lacks, but he's very good mentally. He does lose out a little bit area, maybe a little bit technically, but I just think that, he's just a really, really, really good player as a midfielder on attack, And I honestly think that he's better than, Luisano as well. I know this is becoming quite a wordy episode, but I feel like it needs to be. I just feel like this guy's so much better than Luisano. Luisano is very good physically, yes, I will give you that. But he's just better going forward. He's got better vision. His speed, I don't really care too much about his speed. Mentally, I just feel like that he's better. Maybe he's not. Maybe his stats just look good. I just think he has the stats in the right area. He's got great passing, great vision, great technique, great free kick taking. His work permit's really good. They reckon he wouldn't get a work permit. I reckon he would. He's a natural leader. He's a consistent performer. The times he has played, he hasn't been that great. I honestly think he's good. Maybe everybody in the chat's going to disagree with me, but I honestly think he's good. Anyway, though, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll be back with the FA Cup 4th round draw in just a second. I did do some reading as well. Apparently, in 2022-23, the FA are currently planning to maybe go to one round in the Carabao Cup and in the FA Cup due to the World Cup being in 2022 during the middle of the season. So that might explain why we just had an FA Cup, no replay and just extra time just then as well. But we will be back in a second with the FA Cup draw. Do not go anywhere. Last part of this episode, it is the 4th round draw of the FA Cup. I don't want a big team. I want a cup run, so obviously I want to go and get a team that we can beat here. Hopefully it'll be okay. Automatic draw. I want to see us get out the hat at home. Not first, but if it is first, it's first. I wouldn't mind Plymouth away. Brentford get Plymouth away. Okay, 2 sides that I think we could beat on paper. Reading I wouldn't mind. Millwall. Okay, that's fine. Brighton, I don't know. It's Swansea. That's okay. Lincoln, yes, please. Please. Manchester City, of course. It's so lucky, Manchester City. Chesterfield, please. Bristol. All right, here we go. Arsenal, don't you dare. Preston, good. All right, Birmingham, I wouldn't mind. Norwich. Aston Villa, who's next? Spurs, it's another big team out the door. Everton, oh, it's a difficult game, that one. Barnsley, I thought that was us then. So did Sunderland. We're out the hat. Please be kind. Stoke. Interesting tie. A very, very interesting tie. I don't know what you want to expect with that one there. Trying to draw the rest of the teams out. We did miss a few of the bigger sides. But we've drawn against Stoke. Now, Stoke are currently 18th in the Prem. We've done well against Stoke so far in the save. We're about to play Stoke actually right there on Wednesday. The game after Wolves. But we did play Stoke already, I believe, during... our run, maybe? We haven't played Stoke? I know, because they had no November. So we're about to play Stoke now. We're going to play Stoke on the final day of the season. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do against Stoke. We have been drawn at the home time, a home team though, and that could make for an interesting tie. Hopefully we get through Stoke. As you can see from the draw, a lot of the big names missed out. You know, United had a lot of their players out for the, coming back from the World Cup. Liverpool had a lot of their players out for the World Cup. So none of those lads are still in the FA Cup. So definitely, if we can get through Stoke, we're one of the big few teams left. You know, City is still there, yes. But, if we can avoid City, I back us to get an Arsenal. I back us to get there towards the pointy end of the competition. Stoke's going to be an interesting game anyhow, and that will be the next episode, I reckon, for YouTube. We will be live on stream for the Wolves game after the cricket is finished on TV, but I'm thinking we're going to do the FA Cup game with Stoke, and we've seen Liverpool already this year. We're going to do Man United and Stoke, I reckon. You'll see the Man United and Stoke game as a doubleheader for the YouTube episode, and hopefully we can go and do a job against Man United. We did beat Man United at Old Trafford last year, playing on a 4-3-3, so hopefully this year we do, and then we can beat Stoke. But on stream we'll be on Wolves, link in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Crazy episode. We do know that there will not be any replay, so playing at home could be quite an advantage. Even if it goes extra time or penalties, we do have that home ground advantage. Hopefully we'll be okay. If we do miss out on the FA Cup, it's paramount that we finish in the top 8, you would say, for this season. Anyhow, that is Damien, that is Bright Lights, that is Sunderland, that is the end of episode 42, and I'll see you for episode 43, where it will be a doubleheader against Man United and Stoke in the FA Cup.